Hey there, everybody. This is Quayz here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking all about the recent news with Six Flags America. I actually just went to Six Flags America for the first time on opening day, and when I was there, at the end of my visit, I had this to say about the park. I could possibly see the new Six Flags Corporation actually getting rid of this park. Well, it didn't take long because Six Flags officially announced the plan to close Six Flags America and Hurricane Harbor at the end of the 2025 season. Six Flags CEO Richard Zimmerman did state that the park does not fit into the long-term growth program, so the park will be closing on November 2nd, 2025. They are going to be working with all employees involved. There are 70 full-time employees, so they plan to give them severance if they do qualify. During my visit on opening day, I did notice that the park was run down, and the two newest roller coasters at the park are Batwing from 2001 and Superman Ride of Steel from 2000. So the park hasn't added anything brand new in a really long time. So, what are my thoughts on all this? Well, to be honest, I think I saw this coming. I think a lot of enthusiasts saw this coming. Even before the merge of Cedar Fair and Six Flags, this was kind of like Six Flags' Black Sheep Park. They didn't have many new rides, it was run down, it had a reputation for having fights and things. So now that Cedar Fair and Six Flags are one company, it makes sense that the park is closing for those reasons alone, especially because it sits on a very valuable plot of land. Additionally, within a couple hours of Six Flags America, you have Dorney Park, Six Flags Great Adventure, and King's Dominion, and all three of those parks are within the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. Outside of that, within an hour or two, you also have Hershey Park. All of these parks are far superior to Six Flags America, so there's a lot of competition there. And honestly, if people within the Six Flags Entertainment Group are going to go to amusement parks, they're probably going to go to Dorney Park, Great Adventure, or King's Dominion, unless they live really close to Six Flags America. So what does this closure mean for all of the roller coasters at Six Flags America? Well, some of them can get relocated, but honestly, I don't know if that's really going to happen. But for the sake of this video, what I'm going to do is talk about where I think some of the coasters from Six Flags America could potentially get relocated. Let's start with Six Flags St. Louis. This park in the middle of America currently has 10 roller coasters. But like Six Flags America, most of the coaster lineup is not that great. I actually think Firebird, Six Flags America's floorless coaster by B&M, could be a great addition to Six Flags St. Louis. Now, you might be thinking, this is a really old coaster. It was a stand-up coaster that was converted to a floorless. Why would they relocate it once more and put it at Six Flags St. Louis? Well, Six Flags St. Louis only has one B&M, and it's a Batman clone. So adding another B&M to this park would be a great option. And if you did put the vest restraints on this B&M coaster, it could get rid of that headbanging. All right, let's move on to the next park in the list, which would be Six Flags Great Escape in upstate New York. Now, this park only has 6 roller coasters, so I think a relocation would make sense here. Most of their coasters are also old, and they don't really have any thrilling coasters. So I think something like Joker's Jinx would be great for this park. It would add a launching coaster to the park and would add something a little bit more high thrill, which this park is kind of lacking. This would round out the coaster lineup well at that park while still fitting in with the mostly charming and family feel of that park in New York. Also, since the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation doesn't own Six Flags Darien Lake, which is also in New York, it would make sense to relocate some other coasters to Great Escape. That way, if they ever decide to get rid of their lease on Darien Lake, they would have a little bit more of a coaster lineup at this park. There's another coaster that could go to Great Escape, and it could be a long shot, but hear me out. Wild One, the really old wooden roller coaster, could be a great fit for Great Escape. Yes, Great Escape does have Bobcat and Comet, also wooden coasters, but this coaster has a history, and it would be a shame to see it disappear. So I think it would really fit in with the vibe at Great Escape and add to their lineup and kind of keep that small park feel instead of getting something crazy or more intense like Joker's Jinx. But who knows, maybe both would go to the park. Next on my list is a Legacy Cedar Fair park, Michigan's Adventure. Now, this park has a reputation for never getting anything new, so here's what I think this park could get. Superman Ride of Steel. This would be a great addition to this park. It would actually add a really huge coaster to go along with Shivering Timbers, and it would save this awesome hypercoaster. This would probably be Six Flags' only opportunity to add a huge coaster to Michigan's Adventure in a budget-friendly way. I mean, if this ride had to be manufactured today, it would easily cost around $20 million or more with the cost of manufacturing in 2025. This is easily Six Flags America's best ride, but it would also be one of the best rides at Michigan's Adventure. So next on the list is another Cedar Fair park, Valley Fair. Now, this park doesn't have a huge coaster lineup, and they also don't have any B&Ms, especially an invert. So they could get the SLC Professor Screamore's Skywinder. Let's be real, Vekoma SLCs are not known for being great rides. In fact, they're usually known for being really uncomfortable and rough. But Six Flags America did put a lot of money into refurbing this ride with the new Vekoma trains with the soft vests. I did ride it on my visit, and it wasn't my favorite ride, but it was much better than the SLCs that have the hard over-the-shoulder restraints. So it would be a way to save this investment while also giving Valley Fair something new, which they have not gotten in a while. There is one more park that I'm going to talk about, and that is Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, this could be an interesting park to talk about. The main reason why I'm bringing this park up is because they currently have 0 wooden roller coasters. Well, the first thing that you might think is that Roar would be a great fit for this park. It's a GCI wooden coaster, so they could relocate it, retrack it, put some Titan track on it or something, and it would be a great fit. But the problem is, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom actually had pretty much an exact copy of Roar, and it was called Roar. They converted that to a Rocky Mountain construction coaster called the Joker, so Roar would not be a good fit. But maybe the Wild One would be. This would allow that park to have a wooden roller coaster as well as save this classic Woody. Honestly, I would love to see this coaster go anywhere just to preserve it. So if it doesn't go to Discovery Kingdom, hopefully it goes somewhere else. But I actually think that there's a wooden coaster that could more likely go to Discovery Kingdom. If you look at a map, you will notice that Six Flags Discovery Kingdom and California's Great America are really close to one another. Well, before the merger of Cedar Fair and Six Flags, Cedar Fair already announced that they were planning to close California's Great America in the future. So, if that were to occur, some of the coasters from that park would probably get relocated. Well, what would be a good coaster to relocate to Discovery Kingdom? Gold Striker, their GCI wooden roller coaster. This seems to be a fan favorite at California's Great America, so it would make sense if it got relocated somewhere so close. With all this relocation talk, if I'm being completely honest, the only coaster that I actually see truly getting relocated is Superman Ride of Steel. It's really the only one that I think people would get excited about, and it is a quality ride. Everything else is kind of old and clunky. I mean, maybe Ragin' Cajun could go to a park as a great family option, but a lot of parks already have these Wild Mouse coasters. For my final thoughts on the closing of Six Flags America, what I will say is we don't know where these coasters are going to go, if they're going to go anywhere at all. So, since Six Flags did give us a warning and told us that the park will be closing at the end of the season, if you want to get some final rides on any of the coasters, now is your time to do it. Let me know in the comments what you think about the closure of Six Flags America. Are you bummed that it's going, or do you think it's a good call for Six Flags? And until next time, keep on coasting.